Alright, it's the next morning, and I'm going to take this strap off. See what we did here. Just go ahead and cut this paper off of here. Kind of glued there, we'll have to clean that off here in a bit. Okay, so let's just look at it here. See, this is kind of bumpy right there. So now we can come in here because that arm is firmly on there, and we can just cut right across there. Over there. Now he's, sorry if I'm jerking this around, he's going to have epaulets up here. So I want that perfectly flat here. Give me a place to mount them. Yeah, I think that'll work. So now I can continue on with rounding this off. Get out of there. Get a smooth joint there. Having that arm glued on there allows me to do that. And get that nice joint. There. Now it's time to take it off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get a brush and I'm going to just wet this area right in here, and this paper will whip some of that moisture down into this joint and weaken it. Okay? Okay, I've put some water around here. Now comes the moment of decision. See how quickly that turned off of there? And see, there's the paper that was glued. Now, what we can do now is we can just, on this piece, just sand that off. On this piece over here, you could actually wet it and peel most of it off. See there, it's already coming off. And then let it just, just sit there and thoroughly dry. And then when we're ready to glue her back on, you've got a perfect joint. Join, I guess, not a joint. Okay? So that's how easy it is to do that. So now what we can do, we got the arm done. You can actually go sand this now if you want, but don't glue it on yet, don't glue it on. We can go ahead and finish our cross hatching of the chainmail on this figure. And that's what I'm going to do now, but I showed you how to do it down here. I've already gone around and done it on the bottom. I just need to do it up here and maybe a little back here. And I'll give you a little hint on doing that. I should have showed you this yesterday, but forgot about it. I'll show you that hint here. This is a bottle of 50-50 alcohol and water. Now it's kind of dark, but that's the bottle. That's not the mixture. The mixture's clear. And what this does, when you spray it on your wood, you spray it on there. Some of you probably already know this. For all I know, all of you know it. What this does is that alcohol wicks this water. See, it just soaks in immediately. See that? Wicks that water down into the wood and then evaporates. And then, of course, the water will dry after a while. Leave it sitting alone. But in this case, let me get the glove on here. What it does is it helps prevent these little squares from flaking off, because it sort of turns the wood into a sponge. It's not hard anymore. If you could actually see, when I press in like that, you can actually see that alcohol come up to the surface as I press in. And yesterday, when I mentioned to you that it's best to use this method for cutting these grooves instead of a V-gouge, is when you use a V-gouge, I know they're sharp and people swear by them, but when you use a V-gouge, you're pushing against the fibers of the wood, like here. And by pushing against those fibers, you're weakening both sides where that blade goes through there. Now, when you're using a knife, I'm slicing through those fibers. So, granted, it does, put stress on the fibers a little bit, but certainly not as much as with the V-gouge. And doing fine work like this, you have to be careful. Let me see if you can see that alcohol come to the surface when I press down. And this is an indication of the stress on the wood as you're carving. If Judy will zoom in right along this, it's going to happen on the back side of my knife. There we go. Of course it doesn't show up when you want to. I'm sitting there looking at it each time I carve, and then I try to show you and it just won't do it. Anyway, take my word for it, it happens. But anyway, you spray this mixture on there, even for just general everyday carving, it if you've got a hard piece of basswood or something, it can make your, there you can see that stuff. See how it comes to the surface as I push my knife through it? It can turn a hard piece of wood into a real manageable piece of wood real quickly. But I don't use it that often. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish doing these areas up here. Up to this point about right here, because the epaulette on each side is going to cover up that area, so there's no reason to cross-hatch it. And then I'll go ahead and put some more on the back here, okay? Okay, I finished the grooving up here on the top of the chainmail and on the back. I've gone around the belt, put the design or the bridge around the outside of the belt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the hat, okay? And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and spray this again. I'm just going to lightly indicate the hat here. Instead of going on there with my knife blade, I'm going to just do this. Because I certainly don't want to mess up now. And you see how I curved the lower border of the hat around here? This is where the horns are going to go. This will give me a nice big area on each side for those horns. This stuff has a tendency to dry real quick, that alcohol does. Okay, we got the lower part done, now we'll do the upper part. And you can see that stuff squeezing out when I press in it. That just gives you an indication of the stress you put on a piece of wood, even with a very sharp knife. See it squeeze out? I don't think you need to see me do all of this, and we'll come back and we'll see what we got. I've put him all back together again, and well, I'll tell you, he's looking slicker and slicker each time we stop. Center him a little better on the And what I'm going to do before the next session is I'm going to go ahead and glue this arm on, because this arm can be glued on. And then, well, no, I won't do that. I'll wait and glue this on after we finish his face, because I know you all are probably chomping at the bit, trying to get in there to carve that face. So you can see what I did on his hat up here. I even relieved a little bit of the wood back here just to give the idea of hair curved down over his chainmail. So that's what we'll do next time. So until then, I'll talk to you later.